So please subscribe and turn on notifications.
Yeah, turn on the notification, man.
on.
Ring that bell.
Yeah.
Ring that bell. Ring a ding.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Subscribe.
Subscribe. Negro. Come back. All right. So,
Come back.
Yeah. So what's up, guys, man? Listen, welcome back to my channel. Y'all already know what it is. You know, you need to make sure you're subscribed. You need to make sure you're sharing. You need to make sure that you are paying attention to when I'm dropping this new heat on my channel. All right. So welcome back, man. We're so excited to have you guys back. So I got two of the closest people to me on this show, and this is about to get good. Now, I know everybody has been talking about the last MANnerisms and talking about Da Vinci and Brandon and how they shared their hearts. So I decided to ask my brother, my older brother, Rictor Craig, and my best friend, one of my best friends, Wayne McKnight, Jr.
Yeah.
You gotta
put the
add
junior
that.
on
You
there.
gotta put the junior on and respect the JR.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
And so I asked them would they come and to share. So Rick develops schools. He starts up school. He has an amazing school called Statesman Boys, and it's a all boys school in DC, man. It's absolutely amazing. And then Wayne is a motivational speaker. He is a counselor, coach, all of those amazing things. You need to make sure you follow his channel as well, 24th of May. And so, so we got some amazing things. So they're gonna chime in and share. First question, y'all ready?
Not really, but
Yeah, no, you gotta be ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, all right, bet.
Let's go.
All right, so marriage, relationship. Let's jump into it. Wayne's married. All right,
Okay.
2 kids.
Yes, sir.
My brother's divorced. Lovely daughter. And what is your take right now? Because, you know, and we're going to get into some other stuff too, but I want to go and get this out of the way. All right. What's your take right now on relationships? Like, you're married. How long have you been married and how have you made it work?
Yeah, look, it's been 10 years.
10 years. What?
10 years.
yeah, man.
That was
I
crazy.
remember. I was
right?
standing up there with you.
I know, right?
On our wall, Crystal has the picture when we got married,
Yeah.
and all y'all was back there, bro, and you was in the background like this with your head up.
In there.
Like, we out here.
Yeah, we out here. But it's been 10 years. They all have not been easy. It was almost like the first 3 were the hardest to adjust and become acclimated to what this thing looks like. And we're learning every single day about each other. But I think what has made our relationship tick and work is that we understand what each other needs.
Yeah.
We are definitely we are definitely not the couple that's all over each other. We both need our space in order to operate and be effective in the things that we're doing. Okay. So some couples will get upset with the other one if they're not side by side in the same room all the time.
Yeah.
That is not us. We are both, she's working on projects, I'm working on projects, and we just need our space and our time, especially with having the 2 kids as well. Now, don't get me wrong, we do whatever we need to do, but it's there, and it's an understanding. And I think that's what really makes it. It's understanding what each person needs in a relationship and being able to provide that. And if you can't, being able to communicate that and figure out where that middle ground is.
So let me say this before I go to Rick. Because that space thing is important,
100%.
Right? So what happens when you need that space and then Crystal needs her time, like with you? So, you know, how does that work?
It's a connection. It is it's just the energy. It's a feeling, and you understand what that other person needs within that moment.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not even really a spoken thing, because we both are appreciate personal growth and personal development. She appreciates it, I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
So when I can see what she's doing, because she likes to journal.
Yeah.
So when she starts journaling, that's a cue for me to shift.
Yeah.
Or when she has a certain type of music playing, that's a key for me, like, oh, she is about to get into, she needs her space right now, and I can shift and do something that I need to do or go play places, like whatever the case may be, but there's no offense.
Yeah. If somebody's gonna deal with me, you gotta be working on your own stuff.
Yeah.
If you're not working on your own stuff, and I'm out here grinding 24, I don't have the mental space to do everything that I'm called to do, and then cater to everything that you want also at the same time.
Right.
Like, you gotta be working on your own project.
You gotta be working on it. And even within that, and this is the beauty of it, there's certain degrees too. We understand the weight of this thing. She has her own goals and ambitions, but right now we're trying to focus on building this.
Yeah.
So, and then that will feed into whatever it is that she's looking to do going forward, right? And then the connections and relationships with developing the school. I won't share too much because I'm not sure how much she wants me to share, but with the connection with Rick and whenever we transition to that to grow, but that can come off the piggyback of the success of whatever 24th of May is able to produce.
Yeah.
And she is so selfless that way.
Selfless. Woo!
You know what I mean? She is so selfless in that way. And I just remember the times, man, where I would be super selfish. And it's almost like she would let me sit in that. And it's almost she would lead me by example. Like, I remember one time, she was gonna go talk to a friend, and I was saying, don't bring my name up in that conversation. And she was like, yo, this is not even about you. Like, and I had to sit in that for a second, and it made me start processing and thinking. But she has been selfless our entire relationship, and she has shown me how to do that and how to operate that way, man.
That's rare to find, my boy.
Boy,
That's rare to find, my boy. Congratulations.
Boy, I appreciate it.
And also, I want to thank me because I introduced them.
Yeah. No doubt.
So thank Adrian Davis and for introducing my best friend to his wife, and I am so amazing. I just want to take a moment for that. And so, no, but I did introduce her though.
Get the dirt off your shoulders.
I'm so modest, and I just want to thank myself for that. So Rick, where you at, man? Where you at with relationships and all of that kind of stuff, man?
I am single as hell. I am single as hell by choice.
Yeah.
Divorced. I was married for 8 years.
Okay.
I have a beautiful daughter.
Yeah.
9 years old. My ex-wife is an amazing woman.
Yeah.
She's an amazing woman. And she is everything that my daughter needs in a mother. And I mean, she's just an all-around amazing woman. The truth is that we are better apart than we were together.
Okay.
And one thing that we vowed in separation is that we would not allow our daughter to be affected by our decision. We both had a hand in Peyton and her being here on this earth, and she deserves all of what we have to offer, separately and together. My ex-wife is now remarried with another child and additions to the family, and like I think it allows for me to understand the true power of co-parenting and setting pride aside and being adults about a situation where many people they don't exhibit adult behaviors. And so specifically for me, I'm just like, I won't allow my emotions to traumatize my daughter. And she have to grow up with that trauma, and like that's lifelong. And I don't want to have a hand in, her not being able to be the best person that she can be, simply because I couldn't, control my emotions, or I wanted to be petty, or something like that. And so I mean, we are adults. We are adults. We laugh. We have great conversation, and then we also sometimes have to do what we have to do to make sure that Peyton gets what she needs, whether it is having conversations with her or having conversations with people who are associated with her to make sure that they are, being thoughtful about it.
But let me ask you this: where are you in the dating thing? You gonna get married again, or?
Nah, I can't really. No, I mean, I just can't. So for me, I think I'm at a particular point in my life where I am so focused on my success and my happiness. And right now, my happiness don't include nobody else. It's about me. And I can't say that I will never get married again.
Yeah.
I just don't see that in my cards. I don't see that in the star. Ain't no stars. I don't see it in the. I don't see it in the stars. I mean, ultimately, if the right woman comes along and makes me happy, and I make her happy, and we decide that that's the decision that we want to make, then that will happen.
Yeah.
I just don't necessarily think that that's gonna happen.
Well, I'm gonna share this, man, and I don't, for me, because that's a question I get a lot. Like, when you gonna get married? When is that gonna happen?
I know for you, it's probably crazy because you've not been married before.
Yeah. Like it's like, okay, like when are you gonna try that? When are you gonna da. And what I don't like is that when people try to force their own desires on me, project your desires on me. You should want to be. What tells you what? How are you gonna tell me what I should want?
Exactly.
Like, well, you at this age, you should. Why?
Yep.
Right. Why? Like, and right now, for me, my main focus is I know I'm a little selfish. I know there are some things that I need to work through within my own self. And also at the same time, I'm in a major grind mode for me personally.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I don't have the capability to manage my grind and someone else's emotions, it is unfair to them.
Right.
I can't constantly be on my grind and then trying to, make sure you're okay about my work ethic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm up at 4 a.m. working on a project, I can't be, pausing my project that's due, trying to figure out, are you okay? Because I ain't been able to talk to you all day. You know what I'm saying?
And bro, you know what? They take that as selfishness, and for me, it's just like a shift in mindset. I actually take it as thoughtfulness. Like if I'm choosing not to enter into a relationship because I know the level of my grind and all of the goals that I wanna achieve, to be thoughtful enough to say, I don't want a relationship right now because I'm focused on my goals. Like I'm being very thoughtful about that person's emotions and that person's need. Like, I'm being man enough to say I can't give you what you need right now.
Yeah.
So let me play devil's advocate here.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So y'all both on the grind. All of us are on the grind right now, right? As individuals.
Yeah.
What happens when the one comes that enhances what you're doing
and not take away?
And not take away.
Yeah.
So what happens with you all when the right one comes and it enhances what you're doing? Is there an opportunity for you all to shift into a thought process of marriage then, or is it really just like, nah, that type of person doesn't exist, or like,
you know what I mean? I think I wouldn't even call it a concern. My thought when you said that is, like, I'm so focused, I think I might even miss that. Like, I might even miss that this person is coming along to be an enhancement, because I'm so focused on the grind.
Yeah.
And I'll lose out on that because I'm so focused. And that's okay for me right now. Like I've been married.
Yeah.
Like I've been married. And so like I don't necessarily want to enter into like where I am right now in my, like I don't want to be in a relationship.
So there's no desire.
Like I don't have a desire. Like I have my nonprofit. I have the school. I'm trying to finish my PhD, raise a 9-year-old daughter. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And so, and I want all of these things to be successful.
Right. Yeah.
And so if I'm pouring all of my energy, all of my time into those things, and it's really that I've not set space, mental space, whatever you have, whatever you want to call it, I've not fashioned myself to set that aside for anybody else right now. And I'm okay with saying that.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with saying, I can't give you what you need right now. And if I ever get to the point, not to say that anybody has to wait on me to do anything.
Right.
But if I ever get to the point where I feel like I can do that for somebody, then I'll be ready to receive it. But I don't want to fashion myself to do anything that is not what I want to do.
Right.
Right. And what I found, and I'm sure you went through this, Wayne, and you just spoke about it. When I was dating, the question was, when you gonna get married? When you get married, the question is, when you gonna have a baby?
Yep.
When you got a baby, when you gonna have another one?
Yep.
And so it's just like, it's somebody always has an aspiration for you in your relationship.
Yeah.
And that's always irritated me. Like that
Yeah.
is always like just drove me up the wall, because it's like, you keeping the babies we have? Like, you gonna keep them when we, but if you're not doing all of that, then why are you worried about what's going on in my house?
Right.
So, I mean, but again, that families, they want, they want the best for, the people that they love. So I get it. I just try to, I protect my peace by not focusing.
That's what's up.
Like, I don't even engage in those conversations. Like, when you gonna get remarried?
I have no opinion on that subject.
Then get this. The slow blink. Because it's just like, that's not even in my mental.
Yeah.
Like, I've not even considered it.
Yeah.
Simply because I want to make sure my focus right now is leaving a legacy for my daughter. Yeah. Like, that is my focus. Like, everything that I do to leave a legacy and to make our last name great. So that she can go out here and do what her heart desires, and she doesn't have to struggle. Yeah. Like, I want to break generational curses, man. And I feel like I can't do that. I feel like I can't do both at the same time right now. Like, I can't find love and build this empire at the same time. It's just not there for me.
You know, like for me, it is, would I be open to that? At times, cause I've been open to getting to know people possibly, or trying in the past. I think for the first time in my life now, it's like, I ain't even, I'm not even trying to entertain that idea because of people feeling like, one of the things I realized that people don't hear what you say, they hear what they want. Mm-hmm. And you can tell them all day long, like, I'm not there, like if we want to hang out, have a good time, go on a date, like that's cool. But, and then a lot of times people want to, they hear that and they're saying, but I can change you though, in the back of their mind. I can change you though. Right. Like, and I'm not your project. I'm not your conquest. Right. I'm not your, I'm going to make you want what I want. Like, and then you figure out you can't do that, then you get upset. Right. And then now you're the bad guy. Right. And so for me, it's just like, I just really been at a standstill, man, for a while now. Yeah. Like, legit, like trying to focus in on my work. Like, man, I got the church, I got the store, I got my, I was trying to explain this to my daughter the other day. Like, man, if I lose my source of income, right? I lose everything. Mm-hmm. I don't have a father anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't have my stepfather anymore. I don't have Anthony. I got Rick and I got you, but it's like, I don't have that, let me pick up the phone, I ain't got the money for mortgage. Right. Who I'm calling. Right. I am, so I got to get up and make it happen. And if I got to fight with somebody about my level of focus and my level of drive right now, like, you're not adding to me, you're taking away. You are a distraction. Yeah. So, man, like, for me, it's like, I'm trying to build something. And unless you're going to come alongside and be a secretary or be another mind, now and that's what you're talking about, like adding, then maybe a possibility. But like, for me, it's like, like, I don't know. Yeah. Like,
I don't want any bad vibes. Like, I just want all good vibes.
And now I'm thinking about it, even in my situation, my wife came along when I had nothing. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm very clear on, I know that she's with me for me. Yeah. Now with you all, who are already successful and climbing and growing more, do you see that being even more of a deterrent because you have to understand?
You just don't know.
It's like, for me, honestly, what I will say is the last two people that I've actually like just entered in conversation with, I truly believe both of them were there for me. Okay. But even in that, like, I've come to a space in my life where the most valuable thing to me right now is time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's not money.
Right.
It's time.
Right.
And so, like, the time I get to spend with my daughter, the time, literally, for the last year and a half of my life, I decided not to drive. And I Ubered everywhere. And I did it so that I could spend more time with my daughter when we were going places. Right. So to be able to sit in the back, have conversations with her, play games, write, like, do all of that stuff, it made me realize how precious time is and how much we lose just doing, you know, our day-to-day things. Because my job is so demanding, I'd get home at like 6, 7 at night. And by then it's like an hour, hour and a half before she's in the bed. And like, what kind of time can you spend in that respect? So I had to really reshape like my schedule and all of those things so that I could have time. And to be honest, like, relationships take time. Time that I don't think that I have to give. Like, if we're out on dates and doing all of this stuff, where's the time I'm writing my dissertation? Like, you're not gonna sit next to me and stare at me while I'm writing a dissertation. Like, that's no fun. And so, like, I don't want to have to deal with the possibility of arguments or, you know, back and forth because, you know, I'm telling you I'm doing work and, you know, you want to spend time. Because you should want to spend time. If we're in a relationship, you have that right.
And that's natural.
You know, right.
That's natural.
You have that right. And so I don't want to put anybody in that predicament where you have to feel awkward or be mad because I'm like, no, I can't, you know, I can't do it.
Well, and also meant too for me, and then after this we can get off this subject because I'm.
Well, I do.
No, we gonna get off this subject.
No, hold on, because I'm gonna let you say what you want to say.
Okay.
But I think also for me, I'm looking at the fact that I talk for a living.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Right.
People always want to know, what's your thought on this?
Right.
Like, I preach, I speak, I train, I work for a company, and then now a company that I work for, I now oversee staff and teams. And so I do all of this, and it's all my voice. When I get into my private places, I don't want to talk. I literally don't like literally. I last month I pulled my bill from my cell phone carrier. In a month, I talked 59 minutes on my phone.
Wow.
Everything else was text. 59 minutes, and that's out of a month. For a month. That is like.
That's like 2 minutes a day.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like I'm like, and that's like probably out of the 50, and probably like. There were multiple days where I didn't even pick up, I wasn't talking on the phone. It was probably like conversation with staff, conversation that I just absolutely had to have, and talking to my mom probably, and probably talking to Brigitte. Like, I just don't do phone, because I talk for a living, but it's hard to get someone to understand that
if they're not doing it.
If they're not doing it, and you're not in the same sphere, we don't, our work ethic is not the same. Our focus is not the same. So I'm going to seem like I'm alienating you, or I'm going to seem foreign to you because I'm talking the language that you don't want to understand. When I say I'm exhausted, and for somebody that doesn't understand that, oh, I just want to be by myself. Oh, you want to talk to somebody else. You want to, you know, oh, who else you talking to? Because you got time, you automatically assume I got time to do that stuff. And I just don't have the mental space to be going back and forth with somebody that's not, and majority of the time they got the issues because they're not working on their purpose. And now we have a generation of women that, you know, like, that are chasing the bag, and I really, really love that. I really, really love that. I want the women to chase the bag, be independent, to work, to do those things, you know, and I celebrate every woman that does that. But then you also got a group of women that their whole aspiration is to be married. Like, you know, like, and to get with a man, so they see a man that they want, and then try to, yo, I'm ready. And
we'll project that on you from day one. First date. And the thing that gets me, bro, is this was probably about 2 years ago. I entertained the thought of getting into a relationship, and I mean, the girl, the woman, she was literally like, you know, how's your day going? I'm like, it's super busy. It's productive busy, but it's super. She was like, well, why don't you just take a break? And in my mind, that's like assassination of character. Like, take a break. I got too much stuff to do. I got goals. And I mean, she could not wrap her head around, like, going after your goals instead of sleeping.
Yeah.
Going after your goals instead of, going out. Right. Or going after your goals instead of relaxing and do something you love. Well, I love the work that I do. Well, you say you're exhausted. Well, yeah, it makes me tired.
Yeah,
That's what, like if you do it right, I still love it. It makes me tired, but I don't have time to stop. Right. Like I got goals that I want to complete, and I want to get there. So when I'm talking to somebody and I'm telling you I want to be a millionaire in a year.
Yeah.
Woo, and you're trying to get me, and you're trying to get me to, go out on, a date when I got this dissertation to write, or when I'm trying to, connect with my board for the nonprofit to talk about, the series of events or, whatever the case may be. If you're not pushing me to go harder, and for some, like, that's selfish. I get it. Right. Like for me to say, push me on my goals. Yeah. Like I totally understand that, which is why I don't even put myself in the predicament to have to, to entertain it, because. And
it's well, I'm gonna say this too, Rick. Sometimes you don't even necessarily, like, you have a desire at times, and I feel like, my issue is I'm not consistent in my desire.
Sometimes.
You see what I'm saying? Like so sometimes I want that companionship, but then I feel like that's unfair to her because
you don't want it all the time.
That I don't want it all the time. So then, like, okay, like today, I got a not a free day, but I got some moments, and then let's. And then
you only call me when you want to.
Yeah, and then I don't want to feel like your life is on hold and you waiting. Like, no, like, and the thing is, like, if she can't go a day without talking to me because she's that busy, she's probably not meant for me.
Right.
Like, and I ain't saying like, oh, I'm not thinking like, oh, you didn't talk to me today because you out talking to other dudes. I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking like you on your grind because I know what I'm doing. Yeah. The majority of the time, people think that that you out doing something foul because that's what they have either had done to them or that's what they do. Yeah. So they'll project, like Usher said, like, it's a guilty conscience why I wrote this song. Like, and what he was saying is, like, these are my confessions, but I'm guilty, so I'm projecting my guilt on you. Right. Yeah. So it's just one of those things, man. So I don't know, man. It's a slippery slope.
Let's shift for a second, and then you can take your show back.
Yeah.
What I want to talk about, because the three of us were parents as well. Yeah. And all of our children are on different ages. Yeah. So real quick, Rick, and we'll start, and then we'll kind of go around. Like, talk to me about co-parenting. Like, what is that? What is that?
I actually learned through founding my school. I learned a lot. Okay. And my mentor was like an amazing person in my life who he's taught me not only professional responsibilities, but those skills are translatable and transferable in my personal life. Right. And it has added exponential value to my personal life from the things that I've learned through leading people. Gotcha. And one of the things that I learned through leading people is just open communication, which is something that I failed at. It was a critical fail on my part in my marriage. Like, I failed at communication. And so one of the things that I vowed in the divorce was to not recreate that. For my daughter's sake, because she now would have to be a part of like a 2-house family. Right. And that for young kids, that's a lot. Wow. That's a lot. And my daughter is inquisitive. Like, if she got a question,
she's gonna ask.
Best believe she's gonna ask it. And so, like, I knew that I had to be ready for that. Her mom knew that she had to be ready for that. But we knew that more than anything, we wouldn't get any of those questions if we showed a united front. And to make sure that she's happy and that her life has all that she needs to be great in the world, to be great in school. Right. Like, her mind can't be on her parents' stuff, and she be productive
Right.
in school, in 3rd grade and 4th grade. Like this, it just can't happen.
Yeah.
And so for me, co-parenting me, it meant like sitting aside. My ex-wife is not petty. I'm not. Like we're grown.
Right.
We're grown folks.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you got to be an adult.
Yeah.
And I think grown men and women make co-parenting work well. And we sit all of the emotions, all of the past, we sit it aside. And we have vowed to work together.
Right.
And whatever definition that means, to make sure by any means necessary that Peyton
I just got
is
what you
good.
said. Like you said you failed in communication in your marriage, and you vowed not to recreate that.
In
so in
divorce.
co-parenting, you have vowed to be a communicator.
Absolutely.
That's big.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And that meant for me, like, I had to go into situations differently.
Yeah.
Like I could not enter into situations with emotion. Like I needed to enter into situations with a sound mind, being emotionally constant, like not doing away with the assumption. Like one thing that kills like relationships, whether they're professional or personal, is when people live in the land of assumptions.
Yeah.
Like people do things and then we live in this land of assumption that breeds all kinds of emotion, which leads to all kinds of foolishness. And so for me, like there are very intentional ways that I hold conversations, especially when it's an issue. Because that's when it matters. Like relationships matter when there's a problem. That's when you have to figure out like, how do we get to the other side of this and still be good? Like in friendship, in marriage, anything. And so like for that, not to say that we don't like, there are times where we don't agree. Like there are times where we don't agree on like decisions being made and things like that. But that doesn't mean we go to, you go to the petty and a lot of people in divorce, that's what they do. Like if we don't agree on something, you ain't gonna see your child, or I need my money, or whatever the case may be. And for us, like, I'll tell people straight, like we like I don't pay child support. I don't pay child support. Like we agreed on an amount. That's my daughter. If my ex-wife needed something, in a second I would give it to her. You're the mother of my child. So if you're not good, my child's not good. Like if you're not healthy and well, my daughter's not healthy and well. And so just because we are not together does not mean that I still can't be a support. Whatever that looks like. Whether it is being a cheerleader for a business, whether it is like any of those things. And so I think for me, it has allowed for me to redefine what relationships look like. Like we have a true and I'm pushing myself to do even more in this co-parenting relationship. I will admit, it took me a minute to like wrap my head around Peyton having a stepfather. Like it took a minute. And so I had to like define what that meant, but I also had to like I really had to enter in a relationship with him in a healthy way where it doesn't destroy, what we are all trying to recreate, trying to create for my daughter. And so we like that's what adulting is, man.
So with you, AD, there's a lot of dynamics going on. And I mean that in the way, not only are you parenting, you're parenting from a different coast. Like, so talk to me about, how Rick was like, he Ubered for a whole year because he wanted that time with Peyton in the back. Your daughter's not even here, not even close. So how do you maintain that relationship and keep that healthy? Because distance is easy to allow the assumptions or the narrative that we're saying to her, oh, my dad don't love me, he left me, or he doesn't, like all that stuff. How do you ensure that Brigitte knows that you love her and make sure she's getting the right guidance and that she's staying on track and doing the things that she needs to do to get to where she's trying to get to?
I'm gonna tell you, man, that's been a challenge. Like being out here working on the project and then flying back and taking care of church and doing all of that stuff while we're in quarantine, so it's the back and forth. So the problem is I'm not the best communicator. So, and because I don't like to be vulnerable, I have a hard time expressing my feelings. So in Brigitte, where we were in the home together, she comes home, I'm sitting on the couch, we can lay and watch movies, chill out. you know, and then I tell her every night, hey, I love you, you know, good night, you know, and now it's not that same thing because daddy got to work.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, he's working on his first project from a movie standpoint or an executive producing standpoint.
Yep.
So it's a sacrifice I need to make right now. And so we have our challenges with it because now I got to be overly communicative, and that's hard for me. And it is a big challenge because I got to go out of my way to make sure Brigitte feels that, yo, daddy loves you.
Right.
I didn't leave you. Yeah. This is temporary. You know what I'm saying? But it's the same way with the church. Like, you know, like the church, like, you know, like church leaders or, you know, it's like, it's almost like in certain aspects, people feel like their pastor is their prisoner. So they're not free to explore anything else outside of being my pastor.
Right.
So it's like, yo, we're in quarantine. I can be in 2 different places and still preach to you. Right. You know what I'm saying? You get that, right? So, but it's the same, like, so I got to articulate that with Brigitte. Like, she feels it probably the most out of everybody because she was with me every single day.
Right.
So I actually, Wayne, like, I got to do a better job at that. You know what I'm saying? I haven't done a good job with it, man. And I know she's kind of battled that. And so, you know, my last stint home, I'm getting ready to go back home for a few days. But my last stint home, you know, like I had to have a conversation with her. Like I had to tell her, like, you, like, come on, like, let's talk. Like, what's wrong? Like, where are you?
Yeah.
Because I felt a distance.
Yeah, yeah.
And communication tries to shorten that distance. And I think that with communication, it eliminates the assumption aspect that allows you to assume what your emotions want to believe. So a lot of times our emotions want to believe something so bad that we will see what our emotions want to believe because we'll build a case on our own.
That's right.
We'll build a case for, well,
we the judge and the jury.
Yeah, we the judge and the jury. So like, oh, they didn't speak to me. I know they don't like me. Or I know, see, da. And we'll build that case, and then we'll look at all the narratives that can feed that case instead of looking for stuff that debunks the myth.
Right.
We won't look for that.
Right.
So I try to work hard, and here's the thing, I have to work hard in my action and not just in my thought.
Right. Yeah.
Because like this morning, you know, I get up and immediately I text Brigitte to ask her how she's doing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like because now a lot of times that's in my thought.
Right.
And this goes back to dating, this goes back to everything. Like, I will think that I'm considerate.
Right.
But my actions don't show that. You know, and
intent versus impact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now in my mind, I'm thinking, oh no, babe, I did think of you today. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking of my daughter, like she 2 days go by, she hit me and be like, dang, I ain't heard from you. And I'd be like, no, babe, but in my mind, I thought about you. I was doing something, but the action didn't connect. You know, so you know, I have to do that with my mom. I got to be. And one of the things that I begin to understand is that every day, with anybody in my personal life, I'm gonna make an F. Every day, I'm gonna make an F with somebody with their expectation of me.
Right.
The job is to not make an F every day.
Yeah.
So hopefully, like if I made an F with Brigitte on Monday, that my A with her on Tuesday will help her understand by Friday, yo, my dad made an A with me on Tuesday though. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes those grades should kind of speak to who you are as an individual. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then they won't lean into the negative more than they lean into the positive aspect of what they've encountered. So I got to do a better job, bro. I ain't got no lie to tell you. I got to do a better job with that because it's amazing to me that I will give somebody acting a fool more attention than I give my daughter. Than I give my daughter and give her more time. Like, you know, somebody will act a fool within leadership, somebody act a fool in my personal life, and I will give all of that attention going back and forth with somebody acting a fool, and then my daughter sitting over here like, dang, I ain't talked to my daddy in 2 days. Come on, man. Like, I just got to do a better job with it.
Cool. Yeah, man. I think with me, the thing that I'm figuring out, and now that I look, because I look at life as almost now a game. And it's almost like, all right, that's how you're gonna start my day off?
Yeah.
Right? Because now I'm becoming more aware of my emotions.
Yeah.
Like, you see what I'm saying? So now I can kind of navigate a little bit better. It's almost like bring it on now. because now I want to see what I'm really made of.
Yeah.
So what I figured out about my children, they're two completely different children.
Yeah.
Energy, thought process, the whole thing.
Yeah.
My son needs more emotional support than my daughter.
Wow.
So for example, I figured out that in order to put my son in the best position to have a good day, there's certain things that I have to do before the day starts. So I'll make sure that I'll have his school clothes ironed and ready and all that stuff, because he easily gets frazzled. So if he gets frazzled at the beginning of the day, what kind of day is he going to have? Which puts a responsibility on me. I can't wake up late.
Yeah.
Because if I wake up late, now I didn't set my alarm, so I wake up late. Now I'm waking him up. Get up, let's go. I'm projecting all of that. I'm frazzling him.
Yep.
So now he's gonna have an iffy day, not because of anything he did, but because I was irresponsible and didn't wake up on time.
Yeah.
Whereas my daughter, she wakes up and she's ready to go.
Yeah.
It don't matter what day it is, what time she went to bed. Like she's like her father, like me.
Yeah.
Like we are morning people. Like my mornings are so sacred to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And I will wake up earlier than the house to get my prayer, meditation, and work on the book and do all these things, because I know once I wake them up, that's it until they go back to bed.
Yeah.
And then even after that, it's kind of figuring out what Crystal wants to do. Like if it's time for us to sit down and watch Insecure together or whatever the case may be, or if she wants to do her thing and I do my thing. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, parenting is about, it's a game.
Yeah.
It's like, kind of like what you were saying about how the grades should change.
Yeah.
Like if you failed in this area, that's fine. No judgment, don't beat yourself up. But the adjustments of it, right?
It's just like a constant learning.
It's a constant adjustment
Just
every
learning
day,
every day.
and it's those micro adjustments.
Yeah.
It's like the process. You know, I tell people all the time, it is the micro actions. Like we're all looking for that big moment. The big moments come from the micro actions.
Yeah.
It's the conference calls. It's the responding to the email.
Yeah.
It's those micro things that lead to those moments. And sometimes we're just working for those big moments. If you're just working for those big moments, you are going to completely miss life.
Yeah.
You're only going to be happy 4 times a year, as opposed to really appreciating and engaging in life every single day. And it's the micros. And once I figured that out, that was a game changer for me.
Yeah.
I was like, man, so it's okay to mess up as long as you make the proper adjustment to be better. So now that takes the pressure off of me from parenting.
Yeah.
You know what
That relieves me. I'm like, oh, I can mess up, but I can come back and be better if I'm aware.
Yeah.
I think what I realized, my aha moment was, I could mess up every single day and my daughter would still think I'm the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
And so for me, I had to recognize, like, stop giving yourself such a hard time. Like, I was trying to be the perfect father, and there is no perfect father. Like, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's a perfect father for her.
Yeah,
You see what I'm
absolutely,
saying?
absolutely. Mistakes and all.
Your own level of expectation.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna ask this last thing, and then we're gonna close this out.
Yeah.
All right. How are you managing the expectations that comes with being a black man right now? Like, everybody has an expectation of you. So when you just talked about your daughter, you know, you got to approach her a different way. Your son, you got to approach him a different way. Your wife, you got to approach her a different way. All of them have an expectation of Wayne.
Yeah.
Crystal has an expectation of husband. Your daughter has an expectation of daddy. Your son has an expectation of daddy. You know, your daughter has an expectation of dad. Your job has an expectation of boss. Everybody that we encounter, they have different expectations of you. How do you manage the levels of expectations as it comes to being a black man in culture today? And we got to sum this up real quick. So I don't know how we're going to sum it, but.
So, I mean, easy for me, and I make this real quick.
Yeah.
I've stopped trying to meet people's expectations. I was killing myself trying to do that. I was literally working myself into a depression. And at the end of the day, I had to realize that I'm not going to meet everybody's expectations. You feel about me how you feel about me. I'm going to be me. I have to be me, because if I'm not me, I can't do the things that I need to do in an authentic way. In the field that I'm in, I have to be authentic and I have to be transparent in order to connect with my audience, my community. So how I manage that is, I don't try to meet anyone's expectation.
Yeah.
I just do the things that I know that I need to do and hope that it's good enough.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I think for me, it's really meeting my expectation.
Yeah.
And managing the emotions of everybody else.
Yeah.
I think, especially being in a leadership position and like having to be a father and do all of those things as well, it's helping people. I quickly will tell people, like, if you come to me and you're like, well, you didn't do what I expected, like, that's your work, that's not my work. I'm real good about letting people know, like, that's your stuff, that's not my, I will not help you, like, figure that out. But, I mean, just being very honest and transparent and just letting people know, like, there's gonna be times where I'm gonna let you down.
Yeah.
Like, managing emotions and saying, like, you're not gonna get all of me that you want.
Yeah.
And people have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, my daughter's a different story.
Yeah.
Like, she's a totally different story.
Yeah.
Like, but I also have to tell her, because, I mean, there are times where I have to say to my daughter, I can't do this right now.
Right.
Like, I can't give you all of me right now, because she'll want all of me in the middle of a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
She'll want all of me in the middle of a phone call where I'm, talking to, another leader or something, talking to the mayor or something, but when she wants me right then.
Yeah.
And so I have to help her manage the emotions that daddy will not be available all the time.
Yeah.
And that hurts. Like, for a 9-year-old girl, like, if I am not available in that moment, that hurt. And so I have to, go back and, I have to have those conversations. But I think ultimately for me in that, it's also creating and being intentional about creating those joyful moments.
Yeah.
Because if you're intentional about creating those, you can, like, I literally schedule the day. If I know I got a ton of like, I'm on Zoom meetings all day, and that's one thing I hear from my daughter all the time. Like, you meet all the time, daddy, and so I have to, like, create joyful moments in the morning, create joyful moments during lunch. Maybe we play a quick board game during lunch, or, we might build a tent at night, or I might, I went out and bought all of these items so that I could give her manicures and pedicures during, COVID, because that was our thing pre-COVID. I would take her to the spa, and that's our time that we have Sunday dates where we would go out on Sunday. That's daddy-daughter day. It still is. And so I try to be as intentional as possible about, like, upholding the staples that we've created as father and daughter, so that she has those traditions and she sees that she has a father that will always be involved in her life. But I also have to manage her emotions and set her up that I won't be available all the time. And it hurts, but it's reality. And so I've got to emotionally get used to it, and I got to get her used to it as well.
How you manage it?
Man, what you said helped me, because man, like, that's hard for me, because everybody has an expectation of me as their leader, and that's still something I'm challenged with, right now as well, because it's amazing to me. I'm everybody's leader when they want me, but I'm nobody's leader when they're frustrated.
Right.
Yeah. And
that's
so it's just a process, so I don't know how I'm managing it, but I'm trying to get better with it. So I create a part of it is I am in a space now where I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm taking control over my life, man. I don't feel like I've had control over my life for years, and I think it was the death of my dad, my stepdad, and my brother that allowed me a year later, after the last death, would be like, you know what? This is my life.
Right.
And I'm not responsible for how somebody else feels based upon my decision that I make for my life.
Right.
Like, that's for them to work through.
And the craziest thing, I believe, is that sometimes it takes, like, in my situation, it was my divorce that made me realize that. So it takes, like, a life-changing moment.
And a grieving process, because you grieve divorce.
Absolutely.
Grief, like the misconception is we think that grief is just death. No, grief is a interrupted pattern of your normality. So we could be grieving a job, we could be grieving a relationship, we could be grieving whatever is the norm. Like, if you do something long enough, no matter if it's good or bad, when it stops, there is a grieving process.
Right.
So man, for me, it's just, I'm just taking back control over my life, man, and I think that that's important. I think, and so that's the reason why we're doing these things like MANnerisms, and doing these because I wanted to create avenues for us to talk that's not so churchy and judgmental, and we can say what we want to say and create the space for it. So, man, thank y'all for being on, man.
Absolutely.
We
not
do.
only that,
we do.
we need
do.
spaces like this for men.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
men. Like somebody that commented was like, on the comments, I be reading y'all comments. I promise you I do. Davey in response to him, my assistant, but somebody was like, so you gonna have women on there? No. Women got enough content. Y'all record, y'all talk, y'all whatever. Y'all got plenty of platforms. You know, yeah. It's finally something for men, all right? Yeah, y'all gonna get this man work no matter if you agree or not, all right? But yeah, we definitely got to do a part two. We got to do a part two. And so, all right, so tell people where they, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Because the last video with Da Vinci and Brandon, they, we had lost the footage, and it looked like people was getting on to me. Why you didn't ask Brandon his social media? I got all types of, why you do Brandon like that?
The question mark.
No, I didn't. Oh, why you do Brandon like that? Brandon, if you want to follow Brandon, because I know some of the ladies, because you like his eyes, and you thought he was on Days of Our Lives, which he is going to be on the soap opera. His Instagram is at Mr. Brandon Joseph, But Wayne, tell them how they can subscribe, because man, you got amazing content.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go let's go to Instagram first. It's at I'm Wayne McKnight Jr. is my IG handle, and then on YouTube type in Wayne McKnight Jr. and the 24th of May page. It's gonna pop up. So please subscribe and turn on notifications.
Yeah, turn on the notifications,
come
man.
on.
Ring that bell.
Yeah.
Ring that bell.
Ring bell.
Ring a ding.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So, subscribe.
So yeah, subscribe. Negro, come back. All right. So
Come back.
yeah. So where you at on social media, man?
I am, so you can follow my personal page on Instagram at the THEE Principal Craig, Facebook, Rictor Craig, LinkedIn, Rictor Craig. You can follow my school page at Statesman Boys on Instagram.
Statesman
Boys on Facebook and LinkedIn, Statesman College Preparatory Academy for Boys. And for my nonprofit, you can follow on Instagram at
This boy
NABME
got
Inc.
everything.
I know, right? NABME Inc. and the National Association of Black Male Educators on Facebook and LinkedIn.
All right.
I'm
Y'all
gonna
know
get
where
in
to
the
find
pool,
me,
man.
huh?
I'm ready to get in the pool.
Well, yeah, man, like, we done now, bro. So, definitely, man, like, y'all know where to find me. Subscribe to this dang on page,
Subscribe to my brother's page.
Y'all
Like
tripping.
ASAP.
Y'all tripping, man.
Ding. Brilliant
listen,
black
man,
boys, right?
Listen to this, because I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of it. Because the only time y'all share something is when it's gossip.
I know.
Now, y'all don't want to believe me.
Y'all making me mad. You know what? I'm done.
Y'all don't want. I'm out. Yeah, I mean, because that stuff be making me mad. It be making me so mad. Because, yeah, if it was some drama, some gossip, y'all would be sharing it. Now, if I said I was Cardi B's real boyfriend after she left Offset, then y'all would be sharing that. You never know. First Lady Cardi. All right. Hey, remember, God is doing more than what you think he is, and you're doing better than what you think you are. Again, remember, God is doing more than what you think he is, and you are doing better than what you think you are. Subscribe, share, and we'll talk to you guys soon.